Hey everyone, so in this video I'm going to go over the War Wheel update that is coming soon. We don't have a date as to when this will be implemented, but we are all hoping it's soon. I know we have all been anticipating this update for a while, and we've been waiting for it, and we've been hoping it'll be a positive update, and I'm going to give my opinion on this update and let you know my thoughts. So don't forget also to like and subscribe to my channel for more content and information. And now when we jump into it, the War Wheel is now integrating S-Class Items into it. Now, I think this is a huge positive, seeing as we are in the S-Class era. We have options like the S-Class Choice Box A, B, C, D, and then we get into S-Class cards as well. But regarding these first four choice boxes, we don't know what percent they're going to come in. So you know how for any types of pulls that you make, there's a breakdown of a percentage of how likely or the probability of you pulling this character over that character or this item over that item. We have no information about that, so we don't know how this is weighted. Thankfully, they do give a breakdown later on about what's in each choice box, so at least you have an idea of what you could be getting. Oddly enough, on this wheel, other than these S-Class choice boxes, we also have straight S-Class cards, which kind of confuses me because I think everyone prefers a choice box, because if you're just handed 1,000 cards of a character, well, you might not need them. I prefer the straight up choice box because you can choose exactly what you need and you have a higher chance of getting something or choosing something that you don't already have. The S-Class cards that you can get straight up from this War Wheel seem to be a lot of the earlier S-Class toons, which most people have already. At least a lot of players who started playing when S-Classes first came out, they've grinded and they've probably gotten 1 to 2 of these characters so far. So it would be a little disheartening for those players who are free to play or light spenders who just have already grinded for Henyan, for example, or Priya, or Wangfa, and all of a sudden off of their great War Wheel pull because they've spent 3 wars warring and they've gotten all their milestones, all of a sudden they're pulling 1,000 cards of a toon that they already have. So I don't like these straight up S-Class cards at all. I think the choice box is a much better option. I also don't like how they talked about this being, updating the War Wheel so it's up to date with the S-Class era, yet we still have these 6-star toons in the wheel. I'm not quite sure why we have them, because they're extremely outdated at this point, and I do understand that people want that instant gratification, but the instant gratification of a 6-star toon when S-Class are around, it's not the same. Like some of these 6-star toons we've just seen so much of. Sheldon, Jaifang is actually really good. Ryan might be kind of cool, but I would say he's like the worst bide toon. Mia, she's on the Prestige wheel. She's been on the War Wheel. She was part of Hellgate. It's just, I don't understand the point of some of these 6-star toons on this wheel. Like some people might like these toons as a novelty toon or a collector's item, but I don't really need a lot of them. I would rather just get my S-Class cards from a choice box that I can choose, because then I'm getting exactly what I want, even if it's in a lower quantity. As we see with the choice box contents, when we look at choice box A, you have the most amount of cards being for Pete Anderson, then you have Gao cards, followed by Frost, and then Clementine. I actually don't mind this staggering of cards where new players, if they want to get some of that near instant gratification, they can pull the 1,500 cards, say Choice Box B, 1,500 Priya cards. For a new player, this is a great number of cards to get because you do need 4,000 cards to get the first 6-star version of her. Then we have Henyan cards at 1,000, Mercer cards at 750, followed by Shiva cards at 500. This system for the choice boxes seems like the best idea to me, because every player, regardless of your strength, you have an opportunity to get something you don't already have, hopefully. Some people might have all the contents in these choice boxes, and that is unfortunate, but I must say there is a nice spread of these characters. It's not like in choice box C we see Priya, Pete, Henyan, Leopo type of thing, like the first 4 characters. Instead we have Leopo, Arav, Princess, and Davy in choice box C. The 3 first choice boxes exhibit this variety very well, where there's always a very desirable character that hasn't had many cards come out that spenders or people who have grinded for the other characters are able to still choose. Now, Choice Box D astounds me. I think this choice box is ridiculous, and I think that they forgot a 0 because there's no way you are using 1,000 war tokens and potentially getting 50 S-Class cards. 50. This is a ridiculously low amount of cards. To put this into perspective, this would be 0.5% of an S-Class toon. So some players might be warring for 3 or 4 wars, and then they pull 50 S-Class cards. Now, I will say it includes like every single S-Class character so far. Well, maybe not all of them, but quite a few of them. But still, at 50 cards, there's no point in pulling for this. And what happens if this choice box D is all of a sudden 90% of what people are pulling? Because we don't have any odds on this. If this choice box does exist, it should be in the war wheel at 0.01%. Or similar to pulling a promo, because no one's going to like this box. Everyone's going to complain. And unless this is changed, you're going to have a very unhappy player base. This last box just completely baffles me, and it angers me a bit, because if I was the one to pull this box, I would probably throw my phone, because I probably warred very hard. It might take me, a full war and a half type of thing, because I like using my milestones for the rotten heads to upgrade my war toon. But if I'm using all my tokens from 1.5 wars and I get 50 cards, it would basically mean it was a waste of time to me, and I don't want to feel that way. I also don't want this game to feel like a job where I have to put in so much effort and then I don't feel like I'm getting what I actually deserve. And then if I were to pull a 6-star toon, I would wonder, what am I supposed to do with his character? Amber is way out of date at this point. Zachary, some people are using him to counter the traitor because he can recover from all penalties, and the whole team recovers from all penalties. And it's kind of ironic because Zachary came out a year ago at around this time, just before WOC. Negan is the payback Negan. That Wayland's the payback Wayland. Those two, okay, you know what? You can use those on a passive attack team, but it's very dangerous too, because some S-classes can just one-shot these characters. I guess my issue is they just sold Negan for $10, and Wayland has been on the war wheel for 4 months or so now. There's just been a few avenues to actually get him. When we look at Elle, I mentioned before, she's been on the war wheel. She's been a part of the Hell Wheel. She is a decent bide character, but again, with these 6 stars, it just doesn't make any sense to me why they're still trying to market these 6 stars to us as if they're some great prize. Sheldon, same thing, and then he was also offered for 50 comic books. Who would want to pay 50 comic books and then have him appear on the war wheel right after? Jai Fang was just part of a season store the last season. She's a great lacerator, but a lot of people were able to get her for about 12,000 season tokens. And then Ryan, as I mentioned, is like the worst bide toon in the game at the moment, and with him being a red character, he's very susceptible to the blue toons that are used. Priya, Princess, Mercer, and so on. It's just, he's not a good choice. Mia, again, I mentioned she's been in the Hell Wheel. She's in Prestige Wheel as well. So a lot of people have this character. She's great in arenas because she can't be one-shot, and that means no one can score the maximum number of points against you. But other than that, it's difficult to work her in. I do see her on the occasional defense team because when she dies and goes into her Outlast phase, she gains 100% AP and can rush and revive another teammate on her team. And then we have Slater, who is a very good command revive toon. This is a character I would actually want, but he was on sale for a lot of people in those $10 boxes where you had a 33% chance to pull him, so I know a lot of players actually have this character. Kyle, on the other hand, is a more limited edition character. I haven't seen him very much, but I have seen some film where he's very effective, so he might be an interesting toon to get, but again, a red toon in a mainly blue game at the moment. With a straight up 1000 S-Class cards, it's 1/10 of a character, which is pretty good because S-Class are so far beyond all these 6 stars, 5 stars, and everything else in the game. We have a nice variety of characters, nothing completely game-breaking just because it'll take players a long time to actually get the full S-Class version if they're only relying on the war wheel. There are some interesting characters here, like Louis cards are very interesting. I've seen him on a couple defensive teams and he's been very effective. Same with Minerva, actually. And I think she might be useful because of her infection ability, so there is an avenue to use infection for free-to-play players. But again, this is just not ideal, because if you have one of these characters and you end up pulling it, you're going to be very disappointed in your war wheel pull. The last thing that I can really touch base on with this post is that there are 25 different options, 4 choice boxes, 10 S-Class card options, and 11 6-star options. Meaning if everything was divided equally by percentage for probability pulled, which we know it won't be, but still, you would have a 16% chance for a choice box, a 40% chance for an S-Class, and a 44% chance for a 6-star. It'll be interesting to see the actual probability of pulling each of these items, but I don't feel like we're going to get a comprehensive breakdown of choice A box versus B versus C versus D. It'll probably be grouped all together as just the odds of pulling a choice box, and it'll probably be something like 5 to 10%. And of that 5 to 10%, the majority will probably be choice box D, the one that no one wants. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks again for watching and listening.